Have you ever wondered why doing the right thing and drinking more water actually makes you get up all night to urinate? Most men over 50 are told to hydrate, yet they're exhausted from broken sleep and blame age or the prostate. The real issue isn't how much water you drink, it's when and how you drink it. Today, I'll show you the simple timing mistakes quietly wrecking your sleep and energy. I'm Dr. Barbara O'Neill, a urologist with over 40 years of clinical experience. Tell me where you're watching from and subscribe so you don't miss what fixes this tonight. For years, I've had men in their 50s, 60s, and even 70s come into my office saying, "Doc, I guess this is just part of getting older, right?" And I always pause, look them in the eye, and say, no, it's not just age, it's how your body is trying to adapt. See, we've normalized something that's actually a red flag. Waking up multiple times a night to urinate isn't just a harmless inconvenience. It's a signal that your body's fluid balance and bladder signaling are out of sync. And that sync begins to shift subtly once you pass 50, but it's not irreversible. Biologically, what's happening is rooted in two key changes: your bladder's elasticity and your hormone levels, especially vasopressin, a hormone that helps your kidneys concentrate urine at night. As we age, vasopressin levels tend to drop, which means your kidneys don't slow urine production like they used to. So instead of storing concentrated urine comfortably through the night, your bladder fills up faster with dilute urine. The result? That 2 a.m. trip to the bathroom, sometimes 3 a.m., then again at 5. It feels like your body's working against you, when really it's just missing some support. Now emotionally, I know this takes a toll. You're doing all the right things, drinking more water, cutting back on caffeine, watching your salt, and yet you're waking up groggy, foggy, and frustrated. You may feel embarrassed or even resigned, but please hear this. Just because something is common doesn't mean it's normal. And more importantly, it doesn't mean it's unfixable. Here's the awareness shift I want you to make right now. It's not just how much water you drink, it's when you drink it. That's the pivot most men miss. You can be drinking a healthy amount of water and still be sabotaging your sleep if most of it comes in the second half of your day. Your body is incredibly responsive to timing, and after 50, your sensitivity to hydration rhythms becomes even more important. Once you start aligning your intake with your body's natural cycles, things begin to shift. You'll start to sleep deeper, you'll feel more rested, and best of all, you'll feel in control again. So, if it's not aging and not your fault, then what exactly are your kidneys doing after dinner that changes everything? That's what we'll explore next, and it's simpler than you think. Most men I speak to are shocked to learn that their kidneys actually behave differently at night than they do during the day. Yes, your kidneys, those quiet little filters working behind the scenes, have a rhythm. And after about 6 p.m., that rhythm starts to shift. Their job during the day is to filter your blood, balance electrolytes, and create urine. But in the evening, your kidneys are supposed to slow down urine production so your body can rest, heal, and stay asleep. That's where things start going sideways for men over 50. Here's the biology in plain English. Your kidneys rely on a hormone called vasopressin, which tells them to hold on to water and make less urine at night. Think of it like your body's built-in do not disturb signal. But as you age, especially past 50, vasopressin levels naturally decline. So your kidneys don't get that same strong signal. Instead of holding back, they keep producing urine almost like it's still daytime. And if you're drinking water, tea, or even soup too late into the evening, that fluid has nowhere to go but straight to your bladder. Now let's connect the dots to how you feel. When you're up 2 or 3 times a night, you're not getting deep, restorative sleep. That affects everything: your energy, your mood, your memory, even your testosterone levels. Yes, poor sleep caused by nighttime urination can subtly drain your hormones, making you feel less like yourself. Fatigue becomes your baseline, and even if you fall back asleep quickly, the quality of rest your brain and body need just isn't there. So how do we help your kidneys work with you instead of against you? It starts with timing. Here's my practical guideline. Begin tapering your water intake by late afternoon, ideally by 6 p.m. That doesn't mean you stop drinking entirely, but instead of full glasses, think small sips only. Avoid brothy soups, fruit-heavy smoothies, or herbal teas at night. They may seem healthy, but they're hydration bombs at the wrong time, especially during dinner, when most men unknowingly load up on fluids thinking it's helping their digestion. This simple shift, moving your main hydration window to earlier in the day and cutting back after dinner, can be a game changer. It gives your kidneys a head start to wind down and reduces the pressure on your bladder when you're trying to sleep. But hydration timing is only one part of the puzzle. The next step is learning how to hydrate smarter earlier in the day, because that's where the real reset begins. And most men are doing it completely backwards. Let's fix that next. Here's something most men over 50 don't realize. The way you drink water in the morning sets the stage for how well you sleep at night. Yes, your bladder problems at 2 a.m. often start with what you're not doing at 8 a.m. And this is where I see a pattern every single week in my clinic. Men wake up, grab coffee, maybe sip a little water here and there, but the first half of their day is largely dehydrated. Then around dinner, the thirst kicks in. That's when they start playing catch up, and their bladder pays the price later. Let me explain what's really happening. Overnight, your body naturally becomes dehydrated. You lose water through breathing, a bit through sweat, and of course if you're up, urinating. So by the time morning comes, your cells and kidneys are already running on low. If you don't rehydrate early, your body stays in a fluid deficit throughout the day. And then, when you finally drink more water in the afternoon or evening, it floods the system all at once. But by then, your kidneys have already started slowing down for the night. That's why late hydration leads to those full bladder wake-ups. The solution: you need to front load your hydration. I teach my patients a simple rule. Drink at least 60 to 70% of your total daily water before 2 p.m. That means within an hour of waking, you aim to drink a full glass of water, ideally with a pinch of sea salt or a mineral-rich electrolyte. Why? Because your body doesn't just need water, it needs the right kind of hydration. Sodium, potassium, magnesium, they all help pull water into your cells where it belongs, instead of letting it run straight to your bladder. This early hydration habit does something powerful. Over time, it retrains your brain, your kidneys, and your bladder to trust that water is coming regularly, so they don't have to hold on and overreact at night. You'll notice fewer urges, less urgency, and more confidence when you go to bed. Emotionally, this is where things start to shift too. You'll feel sharper in the morning, more energized, more present with your family. Better sleep leads to better mood, better testosterone levels, and a steadier rhythm to your day. So remember, don't wait until you're thirsty. Thirst is a lagging signal. By the time you feel it, your body's already behind. Hydrate early, hydrate smart, and you'll start sleeping through the night again. Now, what about salt? Isn't that supposed to be bad for your bladder? Actually, this next piece might surprise you, and it could be the missing link. Let's talk about it next. Let's talk about salt, yes, the thing most doctors have told you to cut way back on. Low salt, low salt, low salt has been the mantra for decades, especially for men over 50. But here's the problem. When it comes to hydration and nighttime urination, blindly slashing your salt intake can actually make things worse. I've seen it countless times in patients who follow all the rules, drink more water, eat clean, avoid salt, and yet they're still up every few hours at night, exhausted and confused. The missing piece: electrolyte balance. Your body needs a delicate balance between water and sodium to function properly. Sodium isn't just a flavor enhancer, it's a key electrolyte that helps your cells hold on to water. Without enough of it, the water you drink passes right through you. That means your bladder fills faster, your kidneys don't regulate as well, and you feel constantly dehydrated, even if you're drinking all day. This is what I call the urination trap. You're hydrating more, but retaining less, which leads to more frequent trips to the bathroom, especially at night. Now, I'm not telling you to grab the salt shaker and go wild. What I am saying is that salt quality, timing, and balance matter deeply. Processed foods are filled with poor quality sodium that can spike blood pressure and irritate the bladder. But real mineral-rich salts, like pink Himalayan or Celtic sea salt, actually help stabilize your hydration when used correctly. A pinch of one of these salts in your morning water, that can help your body absorb and use water more effectively throughout the day. Here's a simple adjustment I want you to try this week. Start your morning with a full glass of water and add just a small pinch of mineral salt. You don't need much, just enough to support cellular hydration. This sets the tone for the rest of your day, and more importantly, it reduces that desperate water chugging habit late in the evening that's likely causing your nighttime wake-ups. When you give your body the minerals it needs to balance fluids, everything starts to regulate: urine output, blood pressure, and even energy levels. Your bladder gets a break, and your kidneys stop sending emergency signals in the middle of the night. But I want to warn you, just fixing your salt and water balance isn't enough if your evening habits are still triggering bladder signals. There are a few sneaky behaviors most men do without thinking, like one particular thing right before bed that can override all the progress you've made. Let's walk through those next. By the time the sun goes down, your body is supposed to be entering a restful, restorative state. But for many men over 50, the opposite is happening. Instead of winding down, the body stays alert, and so does the bladder. If you've ever laid in bed feeling tired, but the moment you try to fall asleep, you suddenly have to go, you're not imagining it. Your evening habits may be sending the wrong signal to your nervous system and bladder. And the good news is we can flip that signal. Let's start with light. Your eyes aren't just for seeing, they're timekeepers for your entire body. When you expose yourself to bright artificial light late in the evening, especially the blue light from screens, it tells your brain to stay awake and alert. This disrupts your melatonin production, but it also indirectly affects your bladder by keeping your nervous system in a switched-on state. Your body doesn't fully enter sleep mode, and your bladder doesn't either. One simple fix: dim the lights after 8 p.m. Use warm, amber-toned bulbs or wear blue light blocking glasses if you're watching TV or reading from a screen. Next comes posture and movement. Many men are still fairly active right up until bed, walking, doing chores, even stretching. While that may seem healthy, excessive movement can stimulate your lower abdominal muscles and send mixed signals to the bladder. Instead, start signaling rest through stillness. About 30 to 45 minutes before bed, sit in a relaxed position with your feet up. Let your pelvic floor and lower back unwind. It's a small but powerful cue that your body can start slowing down. Now let's talk about bathroom timing. One of the most overlooked mistakes I see: going to the bathroom right before bed, even if you don't feel the urge. This just-in-case habit trains your brain to associate bedtime with urination. Over time, your bladder starts creating urgency even when it doesn't need to. Instead, aim for your final bathroom trip about 30 minutes before bed. Then resist the urge to go again unless it's absolutely necessary. This helps retrain the bladder to rest longer between voids. And finally, your calming routine. Think of it as your body's nightly off switch. Whether it's a warm shower, gentle breathing, or quiet reading, do the same thing every night in the same order. This creates a subconscious association of safety and rest, which lowers nighttime cortisol and reduces bladder sensitivity. Together, these evening cues form a checklist your body recognizes. The light is low, the body is still, the bladder is calm, and sleep is safe. Tonight, try just one of these shifts and watch what happens, because now that you understand the full picture, you're ready to hear the truth. Your best nights and your best years aren't behind you, they're still ahead. Let's close with that. Waking up multiple times a night to urinate isn't a sentence you have to accept, and it certainly isn't a sign your body is broken. With just a few small shifts in when and how you hydrate, you can start reclaiming restful sleep, sharper energy, and a sense of control that many men over 60 think they've lost for good. Your body is still responsive. It still knows how to restore itself. You just have to give it the right signals. Tonight, choose one change from what we covered. Hydrate earlier, dim the lights, or skip that just-in-case bathroom trip. See how your body responds. Then come back and tell me about it in the comments. Join our community, because you're not alone in this. Like and subscribe if this helped you. Your best years aren't behind you. They're being built with every small choice you make, starting tonight.